Okay, so for this video, we're going to be taking a look at 60 Parsecs, which is a game that's very similar to 60 Seconds Reanimized, made by the same people, Robot Gentleman. This one came out in September of 2018. It's definitely like a larger game, but it is not as big as 60 Seconds was. Uh, 60 Parsecs is a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller of people. It's also same price, $9.99. It's a very similar game. It's set in that Cold War era, just like 60 Seconds was, but instead of 60 Seconds, where you're going into a fallout shelter, this is they're escaping into space. Instead, you still have that same scavenging phase. This time, though, there are more choices of captains to choose from. I mean, instead of just the man or the woman, like the husband or wife in 60 Seconds. This one actually matters on depending on who you pick for the captain. Their stats are a little bit different. There's um, strength, agility, and intelligence. So depending on what you decide there, that does make a little bit of a difference, especially since the captain cannot go out on missions. But so just to read what the kind of little tidbit from Steam is: 60 Parsecs is an atomic space age adventure of scavenge and survival. Keep your crew alive and ready for action. Make difficult choices, face soup shortages and other horrors of outer space, and maybe reach your destination or not. So like I said, it's a 60 seconds game. So you're, the first phase of the game, you're in there running around trying to grab people, stuff, and supplies. It's chaos, and that's kind of, you don't get a lot of time to be able to see where things are at. So you're kind of just running around grabbing things. And then the second part of it is going out, trying to keep people alive, and then making decisions based on the random events that happen. There are tons of random events. There are multiple planets to find, multiple places to explore, multiple different endings. It's absolute. It's huge. This game is, I think, it's bigger than 60 Seconds Reatomized. I think there's a lot more to it. So I'm surprised that less people actually play this game. That this game is actually smaller than the other one, but that's neither here nor there. They took water out of the game, so it's just soup. It's just eating. But now, like in 60 Seconds, you consume a little bit of soup when you eat, whereas in this one they take a whole can away from you. But it also gives you the ability to craft things, so you can craft soups. You can whatever items you get, you can break it down into other, you can break it down into things to use to craft. There's just a lot to this. It's a lot more to it than the other one. The other one's kind of a simpler game. Not saying it's simple, but it's simpler than this one. There's just a lot more to this one. You're just exploring everything. It's kind of similar, and I even I'm still trying to figure out. I wonder if it's like a parallel story, because you get because 60 Seconds, it's a nuclear war, and in the beginning of this game you see nuclear bombs going off on Earth, and I'm wondering if it's supposed to be like at the same time, and one's going into a fallout shelter, the other one's going into space. Not exactly sure. Visuals, it's almost the same as 60 Seconds. Cool little the cartoon style, cool animations for it. The difference in this one is it's more of like a 2D feel, where you can definitely tell, at least in the first phase, it's a 2D feel more than it's still 3D, but it looks more like a 2D feel than the other one did. The other one really looked like, the people were 3D, where this one they look kind of like 2D ish. But for you get crazy things that are happening. Just the artwork, was really, really well done for the crazy things that they thought up of for the different types of uh, the different types of aliens and things like that that they come up with in the space. Sound, same thing last time. Good, good soundtrack. Good makes it a good atmosphere. Still wish there was some voice acting, but there isn't. But that's okay. And then just in terms of replayability, there's plenty of replayability because the random events, there's just so much. It's crazy. You never know what's gonna happen. Um, Probably some of the probably the biggest at it is just like the repetitive of constantly being like, okay, here you gotta resource management. Like if you watch my video, you'll see I sit there and construct an artifact and then deconstruct it so I can make a soup. Like it, and doing that over and over and over again. Especially with I had a long game. It was like 100 and some days, so it was a really long game this time. But I still think it's a really fun game. Like I think Robot Gentleman did. I think this one was better than uh, 60 seconds, not by much. So I still say this is like an 8 out of 10. But I really enjoyed this game. It's a great way to like kill an hour going in there, just to see the different crazy things that could happen, and trying to survive. And so if you want to see the video, like I said, it is a longer video. The first 60 seconds, I lasted like 20 some days. This one I lasted 100 some days. So it's definitely a little bit of a longer video, but just keep an eye out for that. And we'll get to the next game then.